Hello, in this video I'll be describing how to play Deep Rock Galactic. Deep Rock Galactic plays mainly as a co-op game, but can also play solo. It is more recommended though that you play multiplayer, as there's way more fun to be had as a team rather than as an individual. Especially with all the weapons, abilities, and whatnot that you have as a player, that match really well with one another if you are playing as a team. But to each their own. In this game, there are four main classes you can play as: Driller, Engineer, Gunner, and Scout. The Driller is best when it comes to clearing on obstacles, both organic and mineral. This is done through both his drill as well as flamethrower, though they also tend to expel out a lot of their resources pretty quickly. But this can also be done through his support weapon, which is a detonatable explosive. This detonatable explosive, though is very limited in its resource as well, can pack a lot of punch into each individual explosive. They also are capable of sticking onto individual surfaces, so that can be helpful as well when it comes to breaking individual walls or swarms are coming from an individual pillar or something similar. This is really good to note when it comes to general obstacles and whatnot, since otherwise without them it's really hard and takes way more longer to get individual resources, obstacles done, or other similar things. Though this is not always true when it comes to certain maps, including the objective known as the drill dozer, as when it comes to it, it's always a payload-like experience, predetermined by the speed of the dozer itself. So consider that when it comes to selecting it. Otherwise, it's a good choice, but there is another fact to be taken into place, as the game also has friendly fire. Friendly fire is especially damaging when it comes to using a driller, since he does a lot of DPS. So consider that when playing him, otherwise it's a good class choice to pick. The driller, when compared to the engineer, are exact opposites. The engineer being able to put down sentries and platforms as a way to set down defenses, while also having some ways of self-defense, but not too strong self-defense though, through the use of a combat shotgun, as well as also a really devastating but low ammunition grenade launcher. So the grenade launcher is also pretty slow and has a bit of an arc, so it should be something to be noted, especially with some upgrades which, though affect your arc, do allow you to do more damage and whatnot. So keep that in mind. The engineer is really good when it comes to stand your ground type areas, such as extraction mission. Though it should be said that an engineer is better with a team that is focusing on individually extracting. So keep that in mind when working with one or playing as one yourself. An engineer does not work well when by itself, or especially when it's away from their buildings. So keep that in mind, keep them safe, and they'll do their job well. Just make sure to also keep tabs with them, and they'll keep your stuff defended, especially when it comes to special objectives, which is something more the later part of the game, but something to be noted as well. If you want a more hands-on approach when it comes to your self-defense, consider playing the Gunner. The Gunner is equipped with a minigun as well as also a shield. Said minigun is capable of doing a lot of damage, though it must be said that it doesn't have a lot of crowd control, as it doesn't penetrate by default. But using the shield, which is a dome-like protective surface, similar to the one that Winston in Overwatch uses, is really good at standing your ground outright, as well as also causing massive amount of damage. So it's really recommended to play as the Gunner in maps that are really swarmed with bugs, including the Dreadnought fights, as without a Gunner it can be extremely difficult to deal with Dreadnoughts, especially when it comes to reviving your allies, as the Gunner itself is really good at reviving, since with the shield you could draw enemies away and then you could do the outright reviving while using a shield, protect yourself and all that. The Gunner is also equipped with a zipline. Though not the best when it comes to movement speed, is really good when it comes to transporting picked up items such as a pearl or cargo batteries. So it's a really good way of transporting those items without needing to constantly throw the item back and forth between individual players, such as a scout, like two scouts throwing it between one another. So it's something to consider for those types of missions as well. Speaking of the Scout is one of the fastest characters equipped with a grappling hook as well as also a flare gun, capable of lighting an entire cave system up for the most part. Said class is capable of also generally scouting out an entire cave, though it should be mentioned that they're really bad when it comes to self-survival. So it's something to consider to stick partially close to your team and not wander off too far, as otherwise it'll be hard for them to pick you up without wasting too much time. Though it should be noted that when it comes to dying, you can stay down for an indefinite amount of time without any penalties or anything similar. Though if everybody's knocked down, it's not going to be possible to come back up without a perk such as Iron Will. But otherwise, Scout is mainly, as the name implies, a character made to scout out an area. Consider it as also a way to go up to hard to reach places to drop down ores such as gold on the roof or something similar. Though the grappling hook itself doesn't have any ammo, it should be used lightly as it can result in fall damage, and damage itself is not really too good, especially if it heal over time, where instead needs to be healed through the use of red sugar, which is randomly generated throughout the map. Though it can also be regenerated through multiple other uses, such as the vampire perk. Otherwise, yeah, that would be all for classes, and I hope you enjoyed, and remember, rock and stone, brother, rock and stone.